Hello again, everybody. Zack Attack is here with my final war review for 2014. Of course, the final war tonight, Monday, December 29th, 2014, from the Verizon Arena, Verizon Wireless Center. Apologize for the need to crap this up. Tonight, live from Washington, D.C. Now, after last week's war being, of course, the Christmas edition, it was okay war, but it was lagged with a lot of bullshit. Well, tonight's war made up for it. With, of course, your guest hosts, Engine Christian, commending a war which was pretty good for the end of the year. We had a lot of shit go down. As you see by the subtitle, we have a new tag team champions. We have a big announcement of this guy, Daniel Bryan. Plus, we also have a debut of one of the most dominant teams in recent NXT history, and a return of a man who delivered some bad news that the Authority would also return tonight as well. So there you go, a couple returns, a debut, and new tag champs. Very exciting war. Make it up for last week. Decent matches, still some decent matches tonight, including a tag team title match. That includes that title change. Now we would kick off war tonight with the guest host, probably the final guest host, since now the Authority's back in power. Andrew Christian. E to the C in the house. Now, Andrew, of course, retired. I think they said Christian's officially retired. Although Christian didn't really address it. That's kind of sad that Christian is retired. You know, he's been not wrestling for a while, and he's had his nagging injuries. So, if Christian is really retired, wish the best to him. I wish they had a proper send-off for him, like they did the Edge. You know, they showed a little bit of Edge's retirement speech to begin with. And they came out in the usual ENC goofiness way, make some goofy jokes. Better than Cena's lame jokes, let's say that much. Cena fails at even trying. These ENC pull off the playful kiddiness jokes with Essence. When you can make a reference to Slick tonight, that's awesome. They did that at the end of the show. As of course they announced a lot of things. The Cutting Edge Peep Show, combination of their talk shows, would end more tonight with Seth Rollins, a man who would take on Roman Reigns tonight. They also announced Rusev and Dolph Ziggler, which would kick off War. After this segment of E to the C, trying to go for that 5-second pose. But they were interrupted by the WWE Women's Champion, Brock Lesnar. I didn't think he was going to show up tonight. Instead of my Attack Sports saying that I didn't think Lesnar was going to show up tonight. Well, he did. With, of course, Paul Heyman in tow, saying that Lesnar had a heck of a year, and he's ready for the Royal Rumble. He's ready to take on John Cena for the Rumble. And then Cena would be coming out, saying to Lesnar, I'm not going to beat you up tonight. I'm going to wait for the Rumble, because I don't want any excuses from you on why you lost the title to me. But I do have a gift for Paul Heyman. He got a sucker Lesnar in. He kind of playfully tried to fight Paul Heyman, distracted Lesnar long enough to really be set up for the FU. And Lesnar got out of that FU attempt. But Cena still wanted a piece of Lesnar. They didn't do a lot of hype. Because I've been, of course, for the last couple weeks of my Raw reviews, that I've been kind of been like lamenting about Cena Lesnar 3 happening in the Royal Rumble. They didn't make it somewhat exciting, you know. We don't want, at least to say it's the final battle. Hopefully it is the final battle, because we don't want to see this shit again. So there you go. Now, over the first matchup. US Champ against IC Champion. Champion versus Champion matchup. Dolph Ziggler taking on Rusev. Decent match to open up war tonight. The crowd in Washington, D.C. was okay. You know, but they were weak near towards the end of the show, especially when the Ascension debuted. I'll get to that soon. But anyway, we would have Dolph and Rusev have a decent matchup. Dolph Ziggler's being, I think Dolph Ziggler's IC Championship means more than Rusev's IC US title. US title is more like a throwaway. But Dolph Ziggler's trying to be back dignity back to the IC Championship. I hope this comes out of something for Ziggler. He's a former world champion. The crowd's on his side again. Let's just hope to God that something good comes out of it. You know, maybe winning the Rumble? But with so many top guys in it, we'll see if Dolph Ziggler can stand out. He had a decent year. You know, as part of the winning team that knocked out the Authority out of power for only a month. But still, it was still cool to see that. With the help of Sting, of course. So I think Ziggler had a good match with Rusev. Rusev looked really good. I think that's what Dolph Ziggler is. He's a good worker. They're not going to only make himself look good, but make his opponent look good. That's what happened with Rusev. I think Rusev looked really good against Ziggler tonight, and so did Ziggler looking good against Rusev. Ziggler nailed all his big moves, the zigzag and all that good stuff. And the famous too. But of course, Rusev's trying to go for his big moves, going for big kicks. And he was trying to go for the accolade, but he didn't get it on until he got disqualified. He choked Ziggler in the corner and didn't break the referee's 5 counts, and he got DQ'd. As he was putting the accolade on Dolph Ziggler below the ring rope, preventing air coming out, here comes Ryback. We've been seeing these two teasing a feud for the U.S. Championship. I think if Ryback wins the U.S. Championship, that'll make it more meaningful. I said this last week when these two had their little stare down at the Piper's Pit last week that Ryback's on a wall right now, trying to regain momentum. Lost momentum after being a big babyface in 2012. He's getting that pop again. And he came out to save Ziggler, got a big pop out of it. But I think he needs something to make fans really invest in him more. And what he did to make the people invest in him more, to make them still chant, feed me more, was tell his story. Some of us know the story. Diehard fans kind of delve into his story. Some people don't know most of his story. That he wasn't tough enough in 2005. And of course, as most of us know, he was Skip Sheffield in the Nexus. He told his story on the microphone. His delivery was okay, but his story was told, and I think that I liked it. You know what I mean? His delivery was okay on it. His mic skills have a little bit. He needs a little bit work on the mic skills, but I love the fact he told his story, and it makes people want to lean towards him, to cheer him on even more. You know, I like that he did that. That he wants to tell people his story about how he became a WWE superstar. That he wanted this. And in my mind, this could be his last shot. You know, he had a lot of opportunities. You know, in 2012, and I said this in my 2012 reviews, that I did not think Ryback was ready to be world champion. I thought he was thrust into it too early. When he was feuding with CM Punk and feuding with John Cena for the WWE Championship in 2012, I thought Ryback did not deserve a world championship. One. But looking back on it, I think Ryback could have been world champion in 2012. He was so over with the fans. Now he's that over again. I hope that we don't fuck it up. And I think the way to really get him over is not only make him U.S. champion, but to make him the first guy to beat Rusev. That'll be big if he beats Rusev. I said it last week that he should be the guy to beat Rusev. The crowd's on the side again. They hate Rusev so much, and they want someone to beat him bad. He's undefeated for months. I don't want to go on like EC3 still undefeated like in TNA. You know, I want someone to at least beat EC3. Same thing with Rusev. I want someone to beat Rusev. And I think that guy has my back. If they book it right, if they have it the Royal Rumble, who knows? Maybe they could have it at WrestleMania. I don't think they should have Rusev undefeated to WrestleMania. But I think they should have the match at the Royal Rumble maybe. Like, because some guys who have a match at the Rumble are also in the Rumble match itself. That's what's happened the last couple of years. Some guys even wrestle twice. Like, you wrestle early in the card, you get to be in the Royal Rumble later on in the evening. That's, I think, could happen to Rusev and Ryback. So there you go. Now on to our next matchup. Speaking of matches that could take place at Royal Rumble as well, we have Nikki Bella taking on Natalya, non-title. Of course, Natalya's been aimed at as the new number one contender for the Divas Championship since Edge has apparently out of the company. Natalya pinned Brie last week, but could not get the pin on the Divas Champ herself. After a little distraction, of course, I even said this last week that we saw Brie Bella kind of running into Natalya's real-life husband, Tyson Kidd. Like she got tossed out the ring, and then Natty, when she tossed Brie out of the rope, Brie fell on top of Tyson Kidd. That distraction was enough for Brie's sister Nikki to capitalize, getting the rack attack, and the 1-2-3 victory on Natalya. If Natalya could have pinned Brie's sister Nikki, it could have been an opportunity coming for the title. But I think Natalya's going to get the opportunity. Even if Natalya didn't beat Brie's sister Nikki tonight because of that distraction with Tyson Kidd and all that stuff, I still think Natalya will get a title shot at the Royal Rumble. And speaking of using real-life husbands and storylines, that leads to our tag team title match. The Usos getting the rematch against Miz and Mizdow after getting kind of screwed out of the titles at TLC a few weeks ago with that DQ finish. Now we've seen Miz interacting with Jimmy Uso's real-life wife, Naomi, about giving her an opportunity to get with an agent. Jimmy didn't believe Miz, and he wanted Naomi to stay out of it. But as we saw before the match, Naomi told Miz that she called Mrs. Agent, and Mrs. Agent wanted to work with her. So that could be interesting down the line, especially after this matchup. Tag team title shot for the Usos. This was a pretty good match. Pretty good tag team match. Usos have been a very consistent tag team. They've been delivering good matches with everybody. They all tag team of the year, Slammy Award winners for a reason. They had great matches with the Wyatt family this year, Harper and Warren, when they were tag team champions. Decent matches with Golden Stardust. And Miz and Mizdow, good matchup. Like, very back and forth, very exciting matchup. Once again, playing up the whole Mizdow thing. Mizdow didn't get tagged in much. Because I think they're going to break up eventually, especially after what happened during this matchup. Because Usos was held in the corner as Miz was doing all the work himself. Didn't want Mizdow to get any spotlight because he wants the spotlight on him. Because Mizdow takes the spotlight. He teased a few times, standing out getting in, but he didn't get in. Although he did get in to get sacrifice kicked. For Miz to roll up one of the Usos to try to pin him. The Usos started flying up a storm. It looked like at one point, every time that Usos tried to go for the big moves, they would get blocked. They went for the flying Uso once, failed the first time, did it the second time. Same with the frog splash. The first time they tried for the frog splash, Miz put his knees up to block Jay from getting that move, setting up the stall, the boom, skull crushing finale, and the kick out. I thought that was over. When Miz got that skull crushing finale after blocking the frog splash, I thought it was over. You didn't have to figure forward at one point. It was a very exciting tag team matchup. But after Miz failed to pin successfully on the skull crushing finale, Jay would get the tag into Jimmy, double kick to Miz, with Miz out for the count after the double kick, and Mizdow still out. Jimmy would go up the top rope, nail the Superfly splash successfully, and the 1, 2, 3, the Usos are once again tag team champions. Now, in my mind, there's two things about this. I think this should be Mizdow getting pinned, because Mizdow would have been blamed for the loss, and it could have kind of sped things up when it comes to speeding up the big turn. Then we would finally see Mizdow turn on Miz. That's what I think they should have done. That would have been more interesting to see Mizdow get the pin, because they would have played on the fact that Miz wasn't the one pinned. That Miz would put all the blame on Mizdow because he was the one getting pinned for the title. And another thing, the only reason why I think Usos retain tag team champions tonight is so we can have a face tag team champion for the Ascension coming in tonight. That's what I think. Usos and Ascension feud is going to happen. Because now that Usos are new tag team champions, now we have a babyface tag team champion to feud against a heel tag team Ascension, who I'll talk about when we get to the debut later on in the evening. But a great tag team match nonetheless. Usos becoming two-time tag team champions. Not only is the second time winning the tag team titles this year, but they won the titles on Raw both times. They became champions. So there you go. Now on to the next matchup. Cesaro coming up. I liked Cesaro's promo. He's like, it should have been my year. And Cesaro had a lot of things going for him. I really thought this was Cesaro's year too. He won the Unlimited Giant Battle Royal. He looked like he was going places. Then he got with Paul Heyman. His momentum slowed down. But I think if it can really make a great tag team out of him and Tyson Kidd, I think that could take him places. But it was lamenting about his year being so bad. But more bad news was delivered. But it was good news for us, as Bad News Barrett returned tonight in the ring, because Bad News Barrett made an appearance at the, I think it was the Survivor Series pre-show, but he didn't wrestle that night. But we saw him wrestle tonight, and I love the old references tonight. Andrew Christian made a slick reference in B&B. I love that. It's me, it's B&B. The DDP reference, that was cool. And speaking of Edge and Christian, I love that Edge was wearing Sami Zayn's t-shirt from NXT. That was awesome, Edge, right there. That's Edge pushing young talent. Getting young talent over by wearing their t-shirt. Awesome that Edge was wearing his Sami Zayn t-shirt. The reigning NXT champion. Ole, ole, ole. I've been talking about NXT too much. I plug NXT as much as the commentators plug the network and the app. Yeah, I love NXT. Come on, everyone's applauding NXT. I'm not the only one. Anyway, as we see Bandi's Barrett take on Cesaro. I love both these guys. Hey, Cesaro's like, I don't care if I didn't. Cesaro came out saying that I don't connect with the fans. You know, I don't care about connecting. I want to go in there and do my thing. And he did the swing tonight. That's the thing that connected right there, Cesaro. You're like, oh, nothing connects me with the fans. The swing did. The swing connected with the fans. And once you got rid of the swing, your momentum went down. That's the thing. That's what you connected with the fans with, the swing. This one got you over. Same thing with Fandango. He's going down the drain because the thing that got him over, the music, is gone. You know, the once you got rid of the one thing that got you over, you go down swinging. Same thing, that, like I said, that's happening with Fandango right now. He had the music that got him over. He got rid of it. And Cesaro got rid of the swing. That got him over, and he didn't do it for a while because he was. I know he's playing the heel, but come on, he got a good pop every time he did the swing, like he did tonight. But apparently, Bad News Barrett is now a babyface. And he's gotten over with the chain. You know, I got some bad news for him. The Knights is all his best effort, decent athletic. It was a brawling match. He got just great brawlers. I think they should have more time because you guys are just two great athletes. I love both these guys. But Bad News Barrett landed with the bar hammer, elbow, and the 1-2-3 victory for Bad News Barrett. Speaking of guys from Nexus, might be going for the last chance. Same with Bad News Barrett. You know, he was the leader of the Nexus. We see Ryback trying to make up for lost time for being gone for a while. Same thing with Bad News Barrett. He was actually champion at one point. That could be some bad news for Dolph Ziggler. You know, Dolph Ziggler is now the IC champion. So, we'll see if that ends up being a feud. But Bad News Barrett's playing a babyface. So it'll be interesting to see Bad News Barrett as a babyface taking on Dolph Ziggler, who's a babyface. Unless they turn Bad News Barrett here. Again. Because I thought it was a good heel. But babyface, we shall see. I'm going to see Bad News Barrett back in the ring. Delivering good news for us fans, but bad news. Bad news for his opponents. Now, speaking of guys who used to team up with people, we saw Cesaro's former tag team partner and also one of Dolph Ziggler's former tag team partners, Jack Swagger, going against former Intercontinental Champion Luke Harper. Decent little matchup for these two guys. I think Jack Swagger's floundering. You know, Zeb Coulter's been gone for a few weeks with his injury. It could be one of two things. Either A, they ruled out Zeb getting an injury because he was getting real surgery, or B, they write him out because he's done with the company. I haven't heard anything if Zeb Coulter left the company. Now that's the other thing that got Jack Swagger over, was Zeb Coulter. And at least he kept the We the People cheating. That's the thing that got him over. But Swagger had a decent effort against Luke Harper. Luke Harper tried to come in with his big strength and power. Decent matchup between these two guys. Swagger coming in with his big athletic moves, a Swagger bomb, going for that Patriot lock numerous times in the matchup. We ran for the Swagger bomb a few times. He connected, but he was going for the Swagger bomb again. But he got sidestepped by Harper, nailing him with his nasty clothesline lariat in the 1-2-3 victory for the former IC champion Luke Harper, trying to get back in the game after losing to Dolph Ziggler 2 weeks ago at TLC. Of course, he lost his rematch last week, so we shall see what's next for Luke Harper. Because I think, Luke Harper only had a title for a month, but I think he could have had a nice, lengthy one. But I do glad that Ziggler's got the belt again. Because like I said earlier, I think Ziggler's going to bring back more dignity to the belt, the IC Championship belt. So there you go. Now on to our next matchup. Roman Reigns against Seth Rollins. Now this match was supposed to take place a long time ago, back at Night of Champions. We saw the feud building for the last couple weeks going into Night of Champions after Dean Ambrose was taken out when the Cinder Block club stopped. So we knew this match was going to happen at Night of Champions. The feud was built up nicely. until Roman Reigns got injured. And had his hernia thing and was out for a few months. Made up for lost time by coming back at TLC during Seth Rollins' match against John Cena. Although he's feuding with Big Show because he attacked Big Show that night, he does have business to take care of with Seth Rollins. The match was supposed to have at TLC. Not at TLC, but at Night of Champions, like I said. But Big Show, the man he did attack at TLC, was at ringside playing commentary. But I knew he would try to get involved. And so would JJ Security, accompanying Seth Rollins to the ring as usual. And they were getting involved in the match. And like I said, the fans suck in Washington, D.C. They were good for some point, but this is two guys that are like the future, and they were sitting on their hands the entire time. Fuck the crowd in Washington for that. Sorry, but hey. Maybe they're too depressed because the Redskins didn't make the playoffs again. Speaking of teams that don't make the playoffs, we have to mention some dirty Usos thing. They made a Johnny Manziel joke. Usos were being interviewed by Jay Lawler, and Usos like, we're having a party, and Johnny Manziel's invited. Making a joke about Johnny Manziel being drunk at a party before his game. And got one guy suspended. So there you go. Hey, they don't get suspended yet. Sue got suspended. That's another story for another day. Oh, he's getting appealed though. It's not about football. At least WWE, with no Monday football tonight, they finally did well. Without Monday football on. The only time there was nothing to change the channel on, this made you want to stay and watch Raw. Things like this happening, especially with Roman Reigns and well, it's a decent matchup with these guys, despite the fans sitting on their hands in Washington D.C. Good back and forth action with these guys. I think Seth Rollins carried the matchup, and he got the advantage for the majority of the matchup because Roman Reigns has been booked like he's an unstoppable force, like he's like the unstoppable favorite for the Rumble. But I think he got his first roadblock tonight, despite Rollins taking over most of the matchup. He's looking good. There's some decent moves in there against Rollins. Has good moves against Reigns, trying to go for the curb stomp a couple times, but he got nailed with the Superman punch. Mid towards the end, that was like the end of the matchup right there. As after the Superman punch from Reigns, he was going for the spear. As he was setting up for the spear, did a move and everything. He also did one of my favorite moves. He does like the running foot stomp from the outside of the ring to the middle rope, where Rollins was on top of it. Love that move too. But like I said, as Rollins is laid out, and Reigns is going for that spear, here comes the Big Show coming in, tossing him out of the ring, causing disqualification. We saw last week that Roman Reigns took on Big Show last week, ending in a countout. After Rollins, his former tag team partner from the Shield, Reigns, Superman punched Big Show over the announce table last week, causing him to get counted out. Well, Big Show got revenge this week as he tossed Roman Reigns like a rag doll over the announce table and tossing the announce table on top of him. But I think Roman Reigns landed a little bit hard. Like the momentum of Big Show's throw was too hard. Like he threw him a little bit too hard because when Big Show threw Reigns against the table, he landed really hard against the barricade and his foot was caught underneath the announce table. Forcing it to get crushed by the Big Show as he smashed it over Reigns as he tossed it onto him. And as, like I said, this is Reigns' first major roadblock tonight. Being tossed by Big Show and being crushed literally by the announce table. This could be more legit. He just came back from hernia surgery and all that shit. And now he may be taken out even longer because his foot got caught in the announce table as Big Show tossed him over it. Like a ragdoll. It's momentum. He threw him a little bit too hard, like I said. We'll see if Roman Reigns is all right after getting crushed by that announce table. You know, so there you go. Now, speaking of a man who's been injured for a while, found out I made the Attack Sports today, right before this announcement, that I found out after I made my Attack Sports that D-Bry announced that he'll be on Raw tonight. He is close to his hometown. You know, he's from Seattle, Washington, Aberdeen, Washington, and he was close. Washington, D.C. is kind of close to his home state. And he announced on Twitter that he's at his crossroads and he was going to make an announcement tonight. I was fearing the worst. I was fearing retirement. Ironic. Edge was there tonight. He retired a couple years ago. And I was like, dude, if Daniel Bryan retires, it'd be a huge blow to WWE. It would end 2014 on a bum note. It would be a tough year for WWE to swallow. They lost a lot of guys to injury. CM Punk left the company, and now Daniel Bryan could be leaving because of his neck injuries. And it sounded like that during the speech. D-Bry was like, I've been trying to get back in the ring. Doctors been telling me, no, they didn't tell me they're trying to fix me, but they weren't telling me what specifically was wrong with me. Because I read all these before that D-Bry had the surgery and everything, but then it was like he may need to require another surgery because he didn't get the feelings back in his arms. He did return to Raw after Survivor Series as the guest GM at the Authority lost the match at Survivor Series, and it was like it was sounding like the sound of D-Bry's voice sounded like he was ready to retire. He's like, I talked to a lot of people, talked to my family, talked to Edge because he's been through this before about having to retire because of a career-threatening injury. And the fans, like I lauded I lamented the fans, but this is when they were like really popping for D-Bry. Like D-Bry can still get a good pop, which made his announcement more sweeter than it was thinking it was going to be. That it wasn't going to be announcing his retirement. He said, am I going to retire? No. D-Bry is coming back in the Royal Rumble match. Now, we've kind of known that D-Bry was being slated to return at Royal Rumble, that there was rumors about him returning at the Royal Rumble. Now those rumors are true. Roman Reigns has some competition. If he didn't get really seriously injured during a segment against the Big Show, D-Bry and Roman Reigns are the first two guys in the Royal Rumble. D-Bry was the guy that many people thought was going to be in the Rumble last year. Then it goes Batista won the Rumble. So we'll see if WWE makes Daniel Bryan win this year. But who knows? Maybe they don't want him to win this soon because I don't think they... Like, D-Bry's neck could still be damaged. Still could be damaged goods. But still, it's good to see D-Bry back in the ring. Gonna be great to see him back in that ring competing. Yes, indeed. At the Royal Rumble, January 25th. Now, after the fans popped really big for D-Bry, they sat on their hands for our debut of the Ascension. That came when Miz and Mizdow went to Edge and Christian, our guest host, demanding a rematch against the Usos for the tag team titles. But Edge and Christian's like, you're going to get a match. You're going to get another match tonight. But it's not going to be against Usos. Against a mystery opponent. And I was like, this is where the Ascension comes in. And for anyone who's been watching my reviews for the last couple of weeks, last couple of months, I've been talking about the Ascension. When they debut in the company, they're going to knock the tag team division on its ass. They're going to shake things up a bit. Been said like, oh, the Ascension should debut soon. And now they've officially debuted. In reaction, crickets. Crickets. No one reaction. I thought I heard a chant at one point. Was it NXT or LOD? I wasn't sure because they had that red face paint on their heads. And Miz didn't want any part of the Ascension. So he just basically led Sandow to the wolves. And he just got destroyed. Like, Sandow did have some offense at one point, but he got his butt. It was a quick squashing from the Ascension. Coming with a big double team move, especially the double team finish. I do like the double team finish. The Fall of Man. And the 1-2-3 victory for the Ascension. Quick look of Mizdow doing what he did before he landed the job as Miz's stunt double. A jobber. I hope that in his future when he turns on Miz, job it again. But still, it's because, hey, Miz already got pinned once tonight as a tag team title shot. Losing to the Usos tonight. That's what I think. Sandow should have got pinned by the Usos. Because one, at least I would rather see Miz get his ass kicked against the Ascension, not Mizdow getting squashed. And two, if Mizdow would have got pinned, it would have added more intrigue to Miz turning on Sandow or Mizdow turning on Miz eventually. So there you go. I do want to mention one more thing about the Usos winning the tag team title match before I get to our last segment, the Peep Show Cutting Edge. Cutting Edge Peep Show. Naomi came out after the match and celebrated with Jimmy. I think she was probably going to tell that she went with Miz's agent. That could play out later on. Because I told you earlier that Naomi and this whole Naomi Miz Jimmy storyline that Naomi did call the agent that Miz recommended her after thinking that Miz was just fibbing her. just toying with them, but it was true. I don't think she told Jimmy because Jimmy was like, "Don't trust Miz." Well, now we did it, and I think she did it without telling Jimmy. There's a storyline that's saved for Total Divas, not for a War show. But still, hey, they're playing it out on War like they do on Total Divas. On E. Now I'm cheap plugging that show. Damn it. Cheap plugging NXT now. Cheap plugging Total Divas. I don't watch that show. But now on to another type of show, the Peep Show / Cutting Edge. Cutting Edge Peep Show. And this is when Edge and Christian made their slick reference. I love that portion. People like me, and it was kind of funny, they mentioned Daniel Bryan's name, and then mentioned Slick's name, because Slick was the minister for Daniel Bryan's on-screen wedding with AJ during Raw 1000. So I made it more ironic to see D-Bry's name being tossed than Slick's name being tossed after because they have something in common. You know, like I said, Slick was the minister for D-Bry's on-screen wedding with AJ in Raw 1000. So we saw Seth Rollins come up with James' security, calling out John Cena for a toast. A toast to the year. But it was a ploy to get John Cena to do the one thing that Rollins has been trying to get Cena to do for the last month and a half. Bring back the Authority. Now, of course, since John Cena's team won against the Authority at Survivor Series, sorry, allergies bugging me again. Of course, Vince added that stipulation about Cena's team winning the match against Team Authority be out of power. Of course, that night, Vince would add another stipulation that if Cena's team won, the only guy who would bring back the Authority would be Cena. So we've seen this for the last couple weeks about Cena being toyed by Seth Rollins to bring back the Authority. I think we should have known at some point the Authority would be brought back. Which tonight was the night to see the Authority be brought back. In the ploy to get the Authority to come back to make Cena nudge, finally, it made him relent and finally bring back the Authority, was during this Peep Show as Edge was taken out by Big Show coming out. They took out Christian and put Edge's head on top of the briefcase with Seth Rollins threatening to curb stomp Edge's head against that briefcase. And that brought out John Cena. Because Seth Rollins was like, Cena, I want you to come out because I want you to give me what I want. And I thought it was going to be his title shot at Survivor at the Royal Rumble. But then I looked back in my mind and I was like, now I know what Seth Rollins wants. He wants Cena to bring back the Authority because he's the only guy who can do that for orders of Vince, making that stipulation. So Cena was trying every way to get Edge out of there without relenting to Rollins' demand to bring back the Authority. But to not get his ass kicked as well from seeing Edge's head getting stomped to hell, Cena relented and brought back the Authority. But Rollins is like, even if you did bring back the Authority, which you did, I am still going to stomp Edge's head off anyway. And that's when Cena came in, tried to take on Rollins, but the numbers game was too much. And he got knocked out, punched by Big Show, then got curb stomped by Seth Rollins. And I think Roman Reigns was supposed to come out during this segment. But I think he got storyline rear injury after his foot got caught in the table. I think they had to rewind it. Or maybe they were going to have the Authority come out anyway, which they did come out after Rollins and Big Show were celebrating, taking out John Cena and making him relent and making John Cena say to bring back the Authority. And they did came back tonight. Now, I think it was interesting to see Authority going for a while. Hey, we needed a break from them. They were on the television every week. Even though they were off for a month, it still was great to see them away. But now they're back in power. It could mean trouble for John Cena, and also could put more roadblocks against Roman Reigns. That's what I read, is that they should bring back the Authority to put more roadblocks against Roman Reigns, because like I said, he's been booked like he's on Ensemble Force. He needs some peril. He needs a roadblock to make fans cheer him on the Rumble. And that roadblock is the Authority coming back. So the Authority will be back in full power next week on the first Raw of 2015. And during that first Raw, we're going to see the continuing feud between Bray Wyatt and Dean Ambrose. They've been in every match imaginable a boot camp match, a street fight, TLC. What's left for them? An ambulance match. That's what's left for them to do. And that's what's going to be the match. The ambulance match. Tomorrow, next week on Raw. Should be intriguing. Hey, you complain about the same old shit every week, but hey, these millennials don't like lengthy feuds. They want things to end just like that. They want things to be quick. Like the cell phone tablet apps, They want things quick. They want to be done quick. But lengthy feuds, they don't like that. But hey, I like this Dean Ambulance Bray Wyatt feud. So there you go. Curious to see them fight next week, the ambulance match. So there you go. New tag team champions, Ascension debuts, The Authority returns, Banner's Baron returns, and Daniel Bryan will return at the Royal Rumble. In the match itself, so you have two men set for the Rumble, Reigns and D-Bry. Of course, Cena and Lesnar for the title. I predict that we're going to get added in the next couple weeks. Ryback against Rusev for the U.S. title. Nikki Bella against Natalya for the Divas title. And I don't know who would take on Ziggler for the IC Championship. And I think eventually we'll see an Uso Ascension feud. Maybe at Royal Rumble as well. We shall see. And that is it for my last Raw review of 2014. That is it. Thank you very much for watching. With that in mind, y'all been attacked by the review from Zach. Have a very happy and safe New Year's Eve, everybody. Happy New Year. See you in 2015. Yeah. Or should I say, yes, sorry, yes.